Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, Taurians, let's go ahead and take a quick peek and we shall see where's our story taking us? Where's the journey taking our character? What's happening here? We have a Five of Swords and we have a Strength card. I feel like Taurus's videos always start out like really fast. We have someone who is brave and strong and true in their heart space in particular. This could have been a Taurus who did a ton for a romantic partner because this is the story of Tam Lin. And so Tam Lin in the Celtic world was this feminine who fell in love with this mysterious gentleman, and they immediately made a baby, and then he gets abducted by the evil fairies and he is enchanted by them, and she has to perform this daring feat to rescue him. So she has to, as he's riding by on a horseback with the fairies, she has to knock him off the horse, grab a hold of him, and because he's been enchanted, as she holds on tight to him, he transforms into these various different ferocious beasts. And she has to be brave enough to hold on tightly until he transforms into a man again, which at the end of all of this, it turns out he was never really a man at all. He was kind of an otherworldly being. But in any case, it's more about her heroics in this story. So we see him transforming into a crocodile, into a lion, into a wild boar. So it takes a lot of courage to hold on and face, ferocious beasts like this. But here's the thing, despite holding on, despite being courageous, despite having a pure heart, we still have a character who's being left wounded and crying. We have an energy of someone who, I feel like our Taurus has been, despite their best efforts, they have still been hurt because we have a Knight of Cups in the reverse. I feel like this Taurus was true and they waited and they were, patient and they wanted to give to someone, and that person kept hurting their heart, and that person was not showing emotion. That person was not pursuing nor giving back. And in the end, it almost feels like Taurus is saying, God, I sacrificed so much for love. This is the story of the Little Mermaid, and in the original, I believe, is Danish story. It doesn't have the happy ending like the Disney version. In fact, I believe that she does not have that kiss of true love after all. And so, she surrenders being a mermaid to be on land to pursue her love, but the love is not reciprocated. And I feel as if it's like, I wish I hadn't done that at all. Now, that is only from one character's viewpoint. Let's take a look at the other side of the equation. First, let's take a look at the universe's message for this Taurus, because I think anytime that a character gives a lot of themselves to something and is only met with unpleasant energy, it's like, what was I thinking? Why did I give so much to this and, sacrifice so much? And I really didn't get anything in reverse. I should have given my energy elsewhere. That awesome song by Omar Apollo is very applicable. It's called Evergreen. And it says something about, I should have broken it off and dated myself. And I think that's kind of the energy. The universe says, Taurus, this is but one moment in life. Yes, Taurus waited a long time. We see that there was sleepless nights. We see that this was a routine where Taurus kept thinking, no, if I hold on tighter and am more patient and more true and loving, at some point this person's walls are going to come down. At some point they'll give me love in return, right? And then finally it's like, no, they didn't. And the universe says, but Taurus, you're going through this portal now. The judgment card is when we make a judgment call, we reconcile something. I'm going to say the universe is very much in favor of the change. The fact that Taurus is, not that the universe wants this Taurus to say, oh, I shouldn't have done this at all, it was such a waste of my time. No, it's not like the universe is like, oh, good, Taurus, I'm glad that you finally realized how bad this was for you. It's more like the universe saying, Taurus, you were strong, you were patient, you were kind, you were all the things that love is. And the other thing is, you also learned how to love yourself, how to reconcile the fact that sometimes people cannot give the way we are giving. It's not in them, or that's just not the right person to be giving it to. So Taurus goes through this portal, and now they go into the 9 of Sacred Circles, which is the 9 of Pentacles. The universe is saying, Taurus, you learned a painful lesson, certainly, not like the universe wishes this upon any character, but you did learn that first and foremost, you notice how we have the star, the North Star, and we see it on the necklace, the amulet that they're wearing. This is like one's inner North Star. Taurus needed to get recalibrated to where they listened to their own intuition and where they said, I am the person I need to care about. Then we see the star again on the rattle. So it's kind of like the external world that Taurus is paying attention to are the things that they feel um, deserve their internal heart and their internal attention. This is like, I think Taurus is starting to count up the relationships in their life that are their peer group, the ones that they really connect to, their nuclear group, whether it's their family members or whether it's other people that reciprocate and love them. And then we see on the external world, we see that North Star as well. I think this Taurus needed to get recalibrated, and they couldn't do it as long as they kept. Think of how much energy Tamlin spent holding on tightly to all these various beasts. That's a ton of energy. I almost feel like the universe is like, sweetheart, Taurus, you spent so much of your energy trying to hold on to somebody to help them figure out, no, I love you. See, let me prove it again. Let me prove it again. Let me prove it again. All of that energy needs to be spent proving it to yourself. I love me too. I'm really good. Actually, look at how strong I am. Look at how much I accomplish. Look at the other things in my life that are here for me. Look at the energy that I have that I could devote, now that I'm not devoting it to someone else, that I could devote to my own environment and to the relationships closest to me and to the life goals that I have for myself and to my connection to my higher self in the universe. I really think that this is one of those stories where our character had to get to that point where they could no longer think about that person, hold on to that person. This is all, I would just say this is a very relatable story because I think any person, even though this is a fictional story about a fictional Taurus, but I still think any character, no matter who we are, that's a real person that walks this earth has probably gone through something similar. We've loved well, but none too wisely. We've loved really hard, but we've loved the wrong person really hard. And that's, the person who's not going to do right by us, but we keep doing right by them until finally we get fatigued and we say, what have I been doing? And that's when we refocus on ourselves. And it's just that human nature to have to recalibrate at some point. I mean, some people maybe are lucky enough that they never, go overboard and give and insist that if I just love this character more, one day they'll be able to reciprocate and then finally say, oh my gosh, why was I insisting that this person should be the one for me? I should be the one for me first and foremost. And I think it's just, that's the snapshot that we're seeing. We have a character who learned that lesson. Now they're kind of already through that lesson at the point of this story. So what does that mean from here on out? That's just kind of the backdrop. King of Pentacles in the reverse, Queen of Cups in the reverse. I think that this character has learned a life lesson in what a karmic is, plain and simple. And I think moving forward with that, like, oh my gosh, I get it now. I dealt with a karmic and I was a karmic. I was reflecting that. These two could have been very toxic together. Taurus might have been overgiving. They were overly demanding. There was because this is somebody who's emotionally manipulative over here. This is somebody who maybe either wants to give too much or doesn't give anything, but wants someone to pay attention to them. My guess is that since this is depicting the Taurus, I'm going to say the Taurus overgave to someone who overtook. And that was not the right balance at all. So what do you do when you learn a lesson? Well, then you hold on to that lesson, ideally, because it helps us to make better decisions from that point forward. Look at that. Now we have a Queen of Pentacles showing up. So now we have our Taurus in a whole different light. Taurus has shown up as a divine masculine and as a divine feminine. I use the word divine because to me, anything that has life force in it is divine. I'm not saying, oh, you're only good if I say the word divine. I'm also not talking about men and women. I'm talking about the power of the sun versus the power of the moon. That's how I look at the masculine and feminine. So please know this is not gender related. This is not good or bad necessarily. Although when we talk about two characters in court cards that are reversed, and I call them the karmic, it's the karmic lesson. It's the cycle that needed to be broken. But first you got to identify the cycle. That's what our Taurus did. But in their, we'll say in that karmic cycle that we saw there, this Taurus was in a masculine vibe. So they might have actually been like, they kept pursuing, because the sun is like the energy that projects out, the moon is the energy that pulls inward. This Taurus, whether they were masculine or feminine, might have been the one who kept trying to pursue, just like Tamlin was holding on tightly to that person. I'm the one who will protect you. I'm the one who will hold on to you. I'm the one who will pursue you. I'm the one who will rescue you. That might have been a bit of the setup. And Taurus has said, I realize that, but now what I want to be is instead of the energy of the sun, the masculine, I want to be in my feminine energy, the gravitational pull of the moon. This is a big change for how our Taurus is doing things from here on out. They are much softer. They are much, so funny because we just got the Hermit, which is Virgo energy, in the reverse. On one hand, they're more outgoing, but they're also more alluring. They're more attracting. They're more welcoming. It's like someone just hung a sign out on their store that says open for business. Only in this case, it's like on Taurus's heart. They're like, you know what? For such a long time, all I was doing was trying to chase one toxic situation without realizing that's what I was doing. Now that I've seen it, I'm opening my heart up for business, and I am making eye contact with people, and I am being friendly, and I am letting them know if I'm interested in them, certainly come toward me. If, we could have reciprocity. I'm not chasing, but I'm also not hiding. And I think that's a really important message on this story so far. Ace of Wands, Two of Swords. Taurus is writing a new chapter of love, I'm sorry, if you hear my dog, he's fluffing up the rug. He wants a nice fluffy rug, even though can't exactly fluff the rug. Although I'll probably trip on it later because he'll have it in ripples like waves. I think that this Taurus is ready to start a new chapter of love. They may not know exactly where or how yet, but they know that they're open to communicating. They know they're open to talking. They know this could be a Taurus who's like, you know what? I just might be ready to meet somebody from a different area. I might be ready to let a friend set me up with someone, even if their family member that they're trying to set me up with lives in a whole different country. I only say that because the birds are completely different birds, and different birds can live in different hemispheres. So it makes me think that this Taurus is contemplating, you know what, there's a lot of different places in this world, a lot of different people that live in different places. Maybe I haven't been very open to, maybe now I'm open to moving. Maybe there's a lot of things that Taurus is contemplating now that they feel differently. When they were busy chasing one person, and forgive me for continuing to say it that way, but that is not to say, oh, Taurus was a chaser. There is no judgment whatsoever. I mean, I have chased like you would not believe in my lifetime, let me tell you, and I'm not ashamed of it. Yeah, I did it. I was going after what I wanted, but at some point, when you don't get what you want out of it, isn't it better to say, okay, big deal, I was brave enough to try, but it doesn't want me, got to let it go. Like we all do that. And sometimes I wasn't wise, and sometimes I didn't let go. I just kept chasing and caused myself a lot of grief. I think most characters go through that at some point, real life ones too. But maybe it's just me because I'm a big old flawed human. What I can say about this is, now that our Taurus in this storyline thinks about things so differently, it means that they think about a lot of things differently. They think about contemplating things that they were not open to before. They didn't want to date somebody long distance. They didn't want to date somebody from a different area. They weren't open to moving. They weren't open to changing something in their life. This Taurus has had a big shift. They're ready for a new adventure. They're ready and passionate about exploring, about what comes next. What kind of a person? For so long, I thought it was going to be that individual that I kept having grief with, and I was kind of in a cycle. Now that cycle's broken and the sky's the limit. I'm open to a lot of different things I didn't used to be. Maybe before this Taurus wouldn't have wanted to move because it's like, no, I want to stay near where this person is that I keep trying to develop something with. Now Taurus is like, I don't know, I could see me moving. Yeah, maybe even out of state. Heck, maybe I could change a whole bunch of stuff in my life. I'd be open to a lot of things I never was before. They're looking at the world as an adventure now, which is so beautiful. What happens to the person that Taurus had been chasing a little? Let me go over here. the sun, so they get clarity on something. They might have also been very happy in a very pompous way that Taurus used to give them so much attention. Because you notice we have a kid, like a kid emperor. It's kind of like a King Louis, but almost like young, like somebody who was just born into the aristocracy and became an emperor at like 9. And it's just so they've never known anything but being so highly pampered, so highly, exalted, sought after, treated like they were the, you know, little king or queen of the universe. We have an Ace of Coins. We have a Page of Swords. We have an Eight of Cups. We have the High Priestess. It's interesting because I said, what happens with them? Well, first off, they got a lot of emotional highs off of the fact that Taurus had been so interested in them. Even if they consistently rejected Taurus, they knew Taurus feels this way about me. I don't have to doubt it. They really like me. Yeah. Oh, but something's different. Wait a minute. Something's different. You notice the little sly fox is over here going, I sense a change. What's this new thing? Where's Taurus? Now they start looking. Where's Taurus? I don't see Taurus. Oh my God. I see the back end of Taurus. I see Taurus leaving. Oh my God. Taurus didn't even tell me they were done chasing. But all of a sudden it hits them. They realize Taurus isn't holding on to them. Taurus isn't doing this anymore. That powerful, patient, kind, loving, consistent. Oh my God. Something's changed. Well, yes. It's funny how there's that High Priestess there. That's almost like, it's a sense of something. King of Wands. You know what it is? Bizarrely, this person could actually be very intuitive and also still very immature. We have a sense of clarity, but we also have a sense of mystery here. But what's crazy is they know all of a sudden in like their soul, Taurus is going to wind up with the King of Wands. They see it. They know it. They have a flash of it in their mind's eye. Something about this person, this is so strange. It's almost like they were feeding off of Taurus's energy for as long as possible, enjoying it. Yum, yum, yum. This is delicious. Because they knew it was only going to be for a certain amount of time. They knew this with the fox. They knew Taurus was going to have a different beginning. They knew right out of the gate, Taurus is not going to stay with me. I knew this day was going to come. The only thing I don't get is why did they use Taurus as like an energy bank instead of giving back? They knew that Taurus was going to move on. And now that Taurus has, they go, oh yeah, I already knew they're going to end up with somebody warm and loving, somebody who reflects back to them everything that I took. Like that's the best way I could say that. One more card on them. It's a very confusing energy. Six of Wands. They're like, but I had a really good run with Taurus. This is the most bizarrely chipper person. It's like they got what they wanted. They also know that they lost Taurus, which they always knew that they would. But they were just glad that they got a chunk of Taurus anyway. But they also know Taurus is going onward to be successful elsewhere. And it's almost like they're like, oh, good for Taurus. King of Swords. I don't know if this person is just so strangely ice cold, but in some respects, and please forgive me for this, you guys, don't get mad. This is about a fictional character, okay? But in some respects, if they were Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, they might have been logical. They might have been cold. They might have actually really cared about the Taurus, but they were not going to open up their heart space. That may not be how they operate. And so they knew all along Taurus is wonderful. They're a total powerhouse. And I love their energy being directed at me because I feel so good. But I also know Taurus is going to end up getting tired of the way I behave. And I'm not changing. This is who I am. But I'll be happy for the Taurus to be with this amazing romantic partner that I know they're going to end up with. They're only in my life for as long as I can kind of have them keep chasing me and giving to me, and it feels delicious. But I know that they're going to move on, and I'm actually happy for them. This is somebody who bears no ill will toward Taurus, which is just an interesting spin on this story. It's almost like the ex is happy to see the Taurus is going to go be happy because they knew they could not hold on to Taurus in the end. They weren't the right fit, but man, they did really like everything the Taurus was. I wish this had been different as far as that time invested. But on the other hand, maybe the lesson was for Taurus to let them go and move on in their own life. So that's what we got on this one. All right, you guys, thank you for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye.